heads up for folks out there that may have a lot of money sitting in one of these major banks, as we're seeing multiple banks start to collapse. And really, it begins here, as this is now the third bank in the past week that has shuttered. This whole thing today, seeing Signature Bank, one of the two big U.S. destinations for crypto companies, being closed by New York regulators. They're saying that everyone's going to get their money come Monday morning. But this is the third major bank that has fallen in the space of a week. It's got people spooked. And this joint announcement that depositors will be protected above $250,000, because that's what the FDIC guarantees. This is to reassure customers that their money's going to be there and it won't be frozen. Now, Signature had $88 billion in deposits as of December 31st, 2022. It is a major bank. It is one of the major banks widely used in cryptocurrency. Like Silvergate, which collapsed on March 8th, Signature had a network that let crypto companies transfer dollars in real time. But with both crypto banks gone, this is going to make things kind of tricky for people to get back into dollars in crypto. And I just don't think most over there even see it. They're getting buffaloed by some of these headlines, but the proof is in the pudding here. Major banks have just collapsed, and I do not trust the government on their word of backing any and all of this at all, because it seems to me like some kind of probe is definitely going to be launched into these, and this very well could be attached to them saying that they're going to try to dismantle all this, because all in all, in the end, for them to push a CBDC, which strips all your freedom and privacy, they're going to have to do away with the rest of crypto as you know it. This has been what they've done in all the other countries, and we've seen this step by step. We also have word that gold and silver spiking. Some of the people that I follow over on Twitter tweeting out that they've never seen so many people buying gold and silver both on a Saturday ever, as long as they've been keeping track. I tweeted that information out. And also, if you're trying to go get fractional silver or gold, this reminds me of right when the scamdemic started to pop off. People were trying to get this and it sold out. And unfortunately, it's sold out at Ampex or Atmex. But if you in the regular price is $157 that you see right here, if you're lucky and you can find one of the places still carrying it, that's around the price it should be. But if you go over to JM Bullion, you can see right here for that same 100-gram sleeve, Valcambi bar, almost $100 more.
Damn.
That's right. We've warned about this for a long time. I'm glad some of you out there listened. It seems that things are going to continue down this path. And it seems a little strategic to me. I'm going to break this down further on the live streams. Make sure to join me Monday and Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern, talking about this and a whole lot more censorship-free. You'll find links below. Much love.
Here you go. Hey, I want to say Shalom Akim Shalom. First thing and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. New as in the gospel, bro. I lift up the standard of Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. Real quick, brothers have been reporting on this third bank collapse within this week. It says bank collapse, Signature folds, third U.S. bank failure in a week, which is SBV Bank, which stands for the Silicon, I think it's the Silicon Bank. Let me look it up, man. I was just reading it. But I know basically Biden was going into it, which is the Silicon Valley Bank collapse. Yeah, there you go. SVB. I think he had SVB. He had SBV. Yes, SVB. He had it backwards. So I know I read it. It was Silicon Valley Banking. And this guy Biden was on ABC News doing damage control, talking about how, oh yeah, we're gonna bail the bank. Whatever the shit he was talking. He was doing damage control. And he was trying to keep the panic down because you have what they call bank runs. Okay. Bank runs is when people pretty much withdraw their cash from the banks and the amount of money from the banks. And then what happens is the bank goes under because they don't have enough bonds and deposits on to sustain it. So therefore, they go into failure mode and they resolve on bailouts to get them to pretty much keep them up and running, because found out this investment holder or this guy over the BV banking, I believe he sold like millions of dollars of stocks, prior to this thing going down. So these CEOs and presidents of these corporations, a lot of times they get the memo. Same thing before the pandemic hit. These major investors was told to get their money out of their banks or their investments and sell them off because they knew that something big was coming. And it's no different than what's happening here with the SBV Valley Bank. And the banks are collapsing across the country. And what's happening is people are panicking now because for the simple fact, they don't know if they're going to get their money, because you have what they call fractional reserving banking, which basically allots them up to 10% of your money back in case of a collapse. Okay, meaning that they don't have to have all your money on deck. Like if you put $1 million in the bank, $1 million cold cash, they're only liable to give you up to 10%, which is 100,000. Okay, now the FDIC promises up to 250,000, but that's it. So if you got $1 million in the bank and you have a major collapse, you're only liable under the Insurance Act to get 10% of that. So you're not going to get your whole whop of cash back if that happens, and people know that, and that's why they're doing these bank runs. Okay, because now, and that's gonna panic, that's gonna stir panic throughout the nation, because now people are gonna go to their banks. Bank of America is pretty much on the brinks of just falling completely, but they're gonna go to Chase Banks, Bank of America, these corporations, and they're gonna get their money out, and that's gonna cause a plummet or a domino effect of these bank collapsing, which is all done by design anyway. Because see, what happens is they want to pass what they call the MOTB. Like Dabu mentioned, he mentioned that they wanted to do the CBDC systems, which is the central bank digital currency, or the UBI, which is the universal basic income, which is going to tie into the CHIP. Now, you look at these different countries and so forth, they've been following the same suit. India, parts of China, they've been following the same paradigm, so to speak, because we always stated that those particular countries was basically the testing of the cattle to lay out the foundation as to what they want to do here in America. But you Americans, you're so docile because your so-called ways of freedom. It's too late for you, man. Because now gold is spiking, silver is spiking now. Like you just said, it went up damn near $100. So if you ain't got silver or gold on hand, then you're pretty much in some trouble. Which at the end of the day, none of it is gonna really matter, because this is total breaking down of this. The Most High is gonna break this system down completely, to the point you can have gold and silver on hand, but it's not going to do any good, because for the simple fact, the businesses are going to fail. The economy is going to collapse. And once the economy collapses, you can kiss your job goodbye, man. So if this keeps up, then, hey, we can very well say economic collapse this year. And people laying off masses of layoffs, evictions and so forth. It's getting ready to get real bad out here, man. Okay, so it says, what would happen if that was a run on banks? It says a bank run occurred when a large group of depositors withdraw their money from banks simultaneously based on fears that the institution will become insolvent. It said with more people withdrawing money, banks will use up their cash reserves and ultimately end up defaulting, right? Because with fractional reserve banking, what happens is that if you deposit a large amount of money into the bank, what happens is they can loan that money out to fund the war or whatever they want to do. Because usually when they put the money in the bank, it's usually loaned out immediately. Okay, a majority of it they send over to Israel to bail them out, because we know that there's a welfare state. The rest of it they use to fund the war, and the rest of it they just use to put it in their pockets, which that's probably more the liable source of them pocketing the money, because we know how the elitists get down. Esau's a crook, man. All right. What is this here? Yep, it says new bank run already underway as second regional bank at the SVB Silicon Valley Bank collapse, says investors. So let's see what this article says. Because America is being broken down from the food supply systems to the railing of the trains, man, to chemicals in the air, to the weather, to the banking. Now the Lord is attacking the money system. So he's attacking Babylon and all those major arteries, man. The food being important, the money, okay, because we know that bread and circus and commerce is pretty much a big part of Esau's financial capital here. And the Lord is attacking those pressure points, and he's busting the buns on this place. So when that shit runs dry, it's it. You're gonna have chaos in the streets. When shit hits the fan, people are gonna literally be going house to house looking for goods. You know, like the scripture said, there'd be few that search their house with a sword. So that's coming, man. And hey, we're gonna see a breakdown of the system quick. Okay, because hey, Yahweh Shai said, hey, behold, I'll come in as a thief. So it says a new bank run already underway at Second Regional Bank after SVB collapse, says investor David Sachs. And like I said, this retard Joe Biden, he's on ABC News. And anybody that watch ABC News, you don't know what the hell is really going on. But basically, man, he's basically on there doing damage control, stating that, oh, we're good. You know, the taxpayers is not going to lose any money. People didn't lost money already, man. So what is he talking about? You know, but it says former PayPal executive, tech investor, and entrepreneur David Sachs says another bank run is already underway at a second regional bank following the abrupt collapse of Silicon Valley Bank. And like the brother said in his video, the beloved brother, Marwan Gabar, he said this may be a trend of events, just like the rail car derailments, you know, with the derailing of the food processing plants. It was to the point they was burning down 3 processing plants a day for a year straight. Okay, now I believe a similar ordeal happened out there in Greece, if I'm not mistaken. Something happened at Parliament or some type of train derailment, and now they're over there protesting and rioting because they're not astute. See, they don't fuck around over there in Europe, man. They know when you government officials are up to some left-hand madness, they know what to do, unlike you Americans, man. They set up an IRS, they set up Title 4D, being taxed to death, and the only thing you do is you hop in your Mercedes-Benz and go to work and still default on your payments a month later. You know, it's stupid, man. The Esau's gotten away with murder over here in the United States, and you so-called patriotic devils, you've let them, which is your problem, okay? Because honestly speaking, we don't really give a shit because this ain't our arrest, you know. But it will be nice to see this place finally fall for good this time, okay? Because when America falls this time, it's not gonna get back up. Okay, and I can't wait, man, because honestly, man, this shit is old, it's boring, it's tiring. It's just stupid, man. It's just like, let's get this shit on already, man. I'm tired of waiting. You know, I'm ready for the kingdom to be set up. I'm tired of being fucking we're tired of Babylon, period. Okay, let's go ahead and bring the seat here, because this is what this all is leading to, is the implementation of the mark of the beast, like we've been prophesying for years. A lot of you guys out there that call yourselves Israelites, you're not even on the same page, man. And you're going to be caught by surprise, because a lot of you put your trust and faith in Egypt. All right. But it says here, the new interview with Unheard Sachs says he knows at least one other bank that is already facing mass withdrawals from corporate clients. It says you can look and see which regional banks and their stocks were down 20% on Thursday and Friday because the market was throwing a question on whether the SVB problem was spread. It says when asked specifically about whether he's talking about customers who are already withdrawing funds in large amounts or whether people are preparing to withdraw on Monday, Sachs says the answer is both. He says both. The thing to understand is that this is more of a business banking phenomenon. He says, I think this is less about the consumer side, but the issue with the business banking is that the $250,000 FDIC insurance limit isn't really adequate for a business account. It says, but if you think about the situation we've had 100 years ago in the U.S. before the FDIC came along, is that every decade we would have panics. We would have runs on banks all the time, and it was a frequent problem, okay? So basically, roundabout way, he's stating that people are concerned, they want to get their money out. Because a lot of times what happens is in these situations, the people, they're getting their money out and they're investing in gold and silver. And this is the reason why the stocks are going up for gold and silver. The reason why they're going up, because people see it now. And they're like, okay, well, let me get my money out and let me get some silver. You know what I'm saying? But the average American, they ain't thinking like that, you know, because they feel like, oh, well, the banks are going to bail out and I will continue to put Federal Reserve notes into the bank. But see, they're getting ready to do away with the Federal Reserve note, okay, because it has no value to it. And it's a similar situation that happened in Egypt when the system collapsed, man. They opened up what they call a bartering system, which bartering goes into trading goods for other goods. Like you may barter a loaf of bread for some wine. Okay, and I'm going to say it like this. When this shit really hits the fan, fucking wine and alcohol, the demand for alcohol is going to be through the roof, man. To the point people are going to be selling their sons and daughters for a bottle of whiskey, man. Watch what we tell you. It's going to get that bad out here. Look, I got 2 daughters. I need a bottle of whiskey. You can have them and do what you want to do to them. It's going to get real grimy and cutthroat out here, man. Niggas gonna be selling their wives out here. You can take my wife, man. She's an adulterer anyway. Have her. And that day, Jake gonna be willing to that divorce that he was afraid to go through with because it was so expensive. He gonna willingly give Eve up in that day. Like, hey, if you could take this woman, his kids, because I mean, shit is gonna get cutthroat, you know. So this is the book of Genesis 47, and I'm gonna start at verses 13. It says, and there was no bread in all the land, for the famine was very sore, so that the land of Egypt and all the land of Canaan fainted by reason of the famine. Okay. They had a famine in Egypt because remember when Pharaoh had the dream, and the only person that was able to break it down was Joseph, okay, because he gave him the concept. Pharaoh broke it down. Well, Pharaoh saw the 7 years of plenty and the 7 years of famine, okay, and the 7 years of famine made the 7 years of plenty look like straight up none, like it was child's play. Now, when you look at it today, they compare this time to Great Depression times, how people, they ran and they lost their monies and investments. And then World War II, it was just a shitstorm. People were literally like on suicide pills. A lot of steel tycoons and investors and steel and the particular industrial revolutions at that time. A lot of those millionaires off Wall Street, a lot of them, they committed suicide because they couldn't deal with the financial loss. Okay, but it's going to be even worse in this day because now the food crisis. All right, and when the food really gets depleted, that's when this place is really going to go up in smoke. Okay, because the foods here are like drugs, man. People need them actually to keep, they need it to survive, man. The food and medication, when the pharmaceutical industries are hit and the medication is not accessible, people are going to lose their mind. Okay, people are going to be literally like a psychosis type thing. Like they have drugs for psychosis with people with mental instability. It's going to be nuts when people can't get their insulin shots and all this other stuff. It's going to be pretty bad out here. That's why, man, we pray to the Lord, and he got to shield us for real, because I know brothers are going through things in the body, the flesh. And, it's just like how I'm going to make it through Jacob's trouble, man, like with a broken foot or a fucking pension, just anything like that. When it's going to be out here rioting and fire and smoke, people going to be shooting. And here you are, you limping, trying to get away from the madness, man. The Lord got to really renew us and restore us, man. He just has to, because there's no way in hell that this thing is going to be survivable without Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. Okay, but the Lord is going to make a way for us to make it, as he always do. So we can't really worry about our infirmities. The Most High will take care of that. It says here, and Joseph gathered all the money that was found in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan for the corn which they bought, and Joseph brought the money into Pharaoh's house. And when the money fell in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came into Joseph and said, give us bread. Why should we die in thy presence? For the money felleth. Okay, so you see, they were dealing with the same scenario, but instead they went to a bartering thing. He said, well, look, give me X, Y, and Z, and I'll give you this and this and that. Okay, so it's all about investing on what you're investing in and what you're putting your refuge in. But see, our refuge is going to be in Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, man. Okay, because honestly speaking, shit, you got some Jakes in this thing that's really well off. But most of us, we just live in paycheck to paycheck. We got barely enough to survive. We may have a little here and there, but shit, man, we ain't got no $1 million investments, man. You know what I'm saying? I go to the bank and pull out what? I ain't pulling out 100 bands out of my bank. I ain't got 100,000 laying around. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, all right. Most we'll be taking it out is what, a couple of hundred, couple of grand, if that. But even then, it is like, all right, you get that out and do something with it. And people like literally panicking now. Oh, let me get my money out the bank. But you know what? Esau gonna take it anyway. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Esau is gonna take it, but it'd be wise to keep an eye on your accounts too. Brothers do want to, kind of be circumspect. If you want to take some money out your bank and put it into something that's gonna be useful, then hey, that's on you. It won't be a off thing to do so. You got your cash on hand, whatever. But see, they set it up so wicked because most of my bills, I have them to come out automatically because the cost of living has went up in Kansas City. Okay, and in order for me to not forget or be late on payments, I just had them to take the shit out automatically. So therefore, I don't fall behind because I know compared to what I was living last year, I think my expenses went up by like $300-400. Okay, so I'm like, all right, well, let me put this on a rollout plan. Let me have this to come out automatically. But see, when you take your money out the bank, and they continue to process your car, you develop those overdraft fees, man. So that's the only downfall. You see the confusion? You know, back in the day when you was just able to send a check in the mail or go up to the pay station and pay your bills, but now everybody is so hell-bent on this system of convenience to the point you can dial whatever 611 and you can get T-Mobile and you could pay your phone bill over the phone on one line and you attach your credit card to it, to the point back in the day you used to have to go up to the company and pay the bill. Like I remember back in 2006, man, I had to go to that's when we had US Cellular. That's when those Razor phones, those Razor flip phones, they were like the iPhones today. Everybody had a Razor phone. And US Cellular, right? They had the best plans, best service. I used to have to go up to the phone place every month and pay my bill in cash, man. You know, or I think that's like the first time I got like a bank account. You could pay it through debit and stuff, but they were still testing that. But I was able to pay my bill in cash. You know, I was giving them it was like $50 or something like that. And they give me my unlimited minutes. I got my unlimited talking text, free minutes after 9 o'clock, 7 o'clock on weekends and shit like that. To the point, you know, now you could just pay it from a phone. So that's the convenient part. You know, so you got to figure all that out. But regardless, this place needs to go. It's too much, man. I don't want no more. I don't want no more smoke with this shit. I'm just done with it. You know. But anyway, it says, and Joseph said, give your cattle and I will give you for your cattle if money fail. And they bought their cattle into Joseph, and Joseph gave them bread in exchange for horses and for the flocks and for the cattle of the herds and for the asses. And he fed them with bread all their cattle for that year, man. Okay. And that's the point. You know, I could read the rest of it, which the rest of it is actually good. But, you know, for time's sake, we're going to keep it short. All right, so this is from Zero Hedge. It says, never seen in 40 years SVB collapse sparks bank run as people wait in lines. Okay. It says Friday morning seizure of the Silicon Valley Bank by the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, which is FDIC, underscores the banking sector's vulnerability, exposing the Federal Reserve's lack of foresight in combating inflation through aggressive interest rate hikes that have caused regional banks to crumble. But that was done systematically. Like I said, they wanted to break these systems down because they want to bring in a new currency, man. Okay, that's the reason why they allowing the banks to fail, because they have to bring in this new form of currency. Now they had what they call pilot runs that they dished back out in November. It's a 12-week trial process of this new central bank digital currency. And they said by March, you can possibly start seeing bank collapses. And here we are in March. Okay, because really they wanted to have this system up and digital by this month. But you know how Esau works. He works on the Lord's time. You know, but regardless, we're seeing some effect of those 12-week pilot programs. Because when you do the math, you got, I think they did it announced to like the mid of November, which was, say, 2 weeks in November, 4 weeks in December. That's 6 weeks there. 4 weeks in January. Okay, so that's 6. That's 10 weeks there. And then, you know, you got about like 3.5 weeks in February. So that's literally 13.5 weeks, 12-week program. And they dished out and bam, here we are. All right. It says, as venture capitalists and others inside knowledge panicked and withdrew a staggering $42 billion, damn, in deposits before SVB's collapse. An old-fashioned bank run reminiscent on a classic 1946 film, It's a Wonderful Life, involving ordinary people. But like I said, I believe the CEO of that bank, I think he sold like over $3-something billion in stocks or some shit before this even happened. So they knew that was going to happen. And you got this stupid idiot, Joe Biden, on everything, we're good. No, he's been lying to you dudes, man. That dude Biden, if you Jake still trusting that dude, man, that nigga, bro, that nigga don't know if he coming or going, bro. Like, he say go left, or if he say go right, man, just go left. Straight up. It says the velocity at which elite investors and depositors removed $42 billion from SVB on Thursday is truly impressive, causing the most significant U.S. bank failure since the financial crisis just 1 day later. Ooh. It says, unfortunately, small banking clients had insufficient time to draw their funds, leaving their insecure deposits likely lost. By the FDIC only provides protections for up to $250,000. Okay, so they're basically telling you, man, that this is going to set off a trend of events, and if this happens, we can see a very well collapse of the banking system this month. Lord's will, hopefully, you know, because I remember, like, I think it was like 2 months ago, or about a month and a half ago when people were trying to get their money out of Bank of America and they couldn't do it, and they was losing their minds, man. But it says on Saturday, just like the bank run scene, it is a wonderful life. Images and videos surface on social media of people lined up outside of SVB branches and other SVB exposed banks trying to panic withdraw as much money as they could. Okay. Wow. Look at this. Says in 1930, this is my bank in Westleys by the morning. Boston Private Bank recently acquired by Silicon Bank. Wow. You Americans are fucking stupid, man. My God, you fucking Americans, man. That's why you deserve this. Look at this. I can't wait till all these banks collapse. And this is the beauty of social media in some aspects, because people are getting this shit on footage, man. People gonna start panicking. It says on Sunday, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, that demon, says banking regulations are working to resolve failed SVB with a focus on deposits, but couldn't elaborate on details. Yeah, because the CBDC, banking digital currency. It says that despite the SVB's collapse, the U.S. banking system remains safe. Yeah, sure. Yeah, right. That's what. Look, when you look at what happened in 2008 with those with the auto industry and the real estate industry, and then the subprime lending, you seen how this same shit happened, man. That's the same trends that happened before the economic collapse in 2008 and 9. What make you think it's not gonna happen now? The banking system remains safe. They want you to keep your money in there. That's what they want you to do. It says well capitalized and resilient. Yeah, right. Scriptures say peace and safety and sudden destruction. But she says officials are working to address the situation in a timely way. Meanwhile, as Jason's Calaxine is right, this might be the beginning. On Monday, 100,000 Americans will be lined up at their regional bank demanding their money. Most will not get it. This went from Silicon Valley insiders on Thursday to the middle class on Saturday. Main Street finds out Monday. So, yeah, this ain't looking too good for the people, man. Okay, this is going to lead to riots and shit. A lot of you people that work in banks, man, they going to take that shit out on you, because a lot of those tellers, they don't know what's going on, man. They just work there. They just customer service reps. They don't know the inside or the outside of banking for real. Now, when you start dealing with those personal bankers and so forth like that, they have a little bit more insight. But the CEOs and the presidents is the people that you really need to focus on, because the bank branch, those people, they don't know what the hell is going on, man. They take a test. Can you count from 1 to 100? Do you know basic multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction? Yes, you got the job. People don't know what the hell is going on, man. You got people that got money in that bank that can't even get their money out. Let me see something here. Community link. And I reposted this. Now, you can barely see it, but it says U.S. banks are collapsing at an incredible speed. These are all the U.S. banks in Slovakia. You can't really see it. But SVB Financial Group is at the top of the list. Then you got PacWest, First Republic. Then you got Western Alliance Bancorp. You got Charles Schwab Corp. Okay, you got Signature Bank, Zions Bank Corporation, Connected One Bank Corp. And it goes down, man. Okay, and most of these you probably haven't heard of, but Valley International Bank Corp. Hey, man, this is going to get real. A lot of people getting ready to lose their money. So if you have money in these banks, man, hey, I guess you would be lined up. But this shit is getting ready to fall, man. All right. So this is the book of James 5:1. It says, go to now ye rich men, weep and howl for your misery that should come upon you. It says your riches are corrupted and your garments are moth-eating. These corrupted riches, this monetary system is totally corrupted, man. Okay, it's based on usury. You see? It's based on usury and it's based on oppression. The Federal Reserve note is nothing but a debt note. It says your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them should be a witness against you and should eat your flesh as it will fire. It says you have heaped treasures together for the last days, and that's talking about you elites. Okay, you storing up the substance you've stolen from the people, mainly the children of Israel. You got rich off slavery. Okay, and the list goes on. And it says, behold, the hires of the laborers who you have reaped down your fields, which is kept of you back by fraud. Right? This system, fractional reserve banking, is fraudulent. Okay, the Federal Reserve Note is fraudulent. The IRS is fraudulent. But even through the midst of this, you still got to pay child support. You still got to pay taxes. You know, you still got to pay your bills. Like, you go to the fucking the rent people and say, well, look, man, my money was just confiscated out of my account. I can't make rent. They don't care. They're going to serve you with eviction papers. You got to get the hell up out of here. Dog dog world, man. Okay. It says, which is kept of you back by fraud, crieth, and the cries of them which have reaped are enter into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth, which is the Lord of the armies. It says, ye have lived in pleasure on the earth and been one time and have nourished your hearts, as in a day of slaughter. It says, ye have condemned and killed the just, and he doth not resist you. So be patient, therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. But behold, the husbandman waited for the precious fruit of the earth, and have long patience for it until he received the early and latter rain. So be ye also patient, establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord draweth nigh, man. I can't wait. I can't wait, man. We need to get the hell up out of this place. This place is just too much, man. It's too much. It's taking a toll on us. We wore out. All right, it's really taking a toll on me mentally, physically, damn near. All right, and we gotta, we just gotta fucking just hold on. Just hold on, brothers, man. All right. One more precept, and I'm gonna end it. Point is being made. Was this second Esdras 6, and I'm gonna start at verses 22. It says, suddenly, okay, shall the sown places appear unsown, and the full storehouses should be found empty. Suddenly, okay, meaning these systems, these economies, these jobs, this shit is just gonna come. One day we gonna wake up, and ain't none of us gonna have a job to go to. You know what I'm saying? Ain't none of us gonna have a job. People gonna be panicking. People gonna be stealing, robbing, looting. And it's gonna be a cold day in hell out here. And a trumpet should give a sound, and it's giving sound now. We're warning you. Which when every man hear it, then shall suddenly be afraid. And at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. And the springs and the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they should not run. Okay? So this system, this collapse, we're in a collapse right now. I mean, it's actually happening. As we seeing it, it's actually going down as we speak. The collapse has started. So with that, all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. And with that, Shalom and the Baba Shalom.